And we are live. Welcome to Bill and Ammon's Bogus Hangout. We've got a couple of guests with me today, and I have them introduce themselves. Doc?
Hi, everybody. Doc Sheldon here of Intrinsic Value SEO and Search News Central. Sitting down in beautiful downtown Tijuana today, enjoying the sunshine.
Tib?
Tim Calling from the Servant's Heart Web Design and Marketing. I guess you could say I'm sitting in beautiful downtown People's Republic of California.
This is a Southern California episode?
It's interesting sometimes.
No, it's become even more international now. Hey, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Terry. Welcome to the Hangout. Introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Terry Van Horn, SEO Dojo, SEO Pros, international website builders. You'll find me at one of those three doing something.
And I'm Bill Slosky. I'm the author at SEO by the Sea, and I'm the director of SEO research at Go Fish Digital. And it's Tuesday already.
Yeah, wow.
Monday flies by if you're not paying attention.
It's August already, my Lord.
It was a holiday here.
It is. Is it BC Day or something?
No, Lord Simcoe Day.
Oh.
He was the first guy sent by the Queen. First guy, he abolished slavery in Canada.
Ah, cool.
20 years before they did in Britain.
It was pretty bad for a long time in Britain and, of course, here, too, in the U.S.
I think Britain may have regretted it for a few decades, too. The mindset being what it is there.
So how long ago did he do that, Terry?
Pardon me?
How long ago did he do that?
Oh, geez. Before my time, I could say.
Yeah, it was in the 1800s, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Maybe
1840-something, 1850-something?
Yeah, it was when Upper Canada, they first settled here. I think he was the first guy sent by the Queen, too.
Oh, well, that was well before then. It had to have been back in the probably the late 1700s.
Oh yeah, when they first settled here, and Simcoe County is not far from where I was born, and it's named after him.
Interesting. So a national holiday, everybody's off?
Every province gives it a different day and reason.
Oh.
It's a way to have a holiday in August, and one holiday in every month of the summer.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we're pretty close to France.
Yeah. Oh, you don't take the whole month off, at least, like they do in France.
Holidays, you know.
Oh, geez. I worked for a chemical company back in the late 70s, and we shipped our products all over the world. And, when it came to the summer, trying to reach anybody in France, forget about it. It was just like, not going to happen.
They shut the country down for a couple of months.
That was it. Vacation. See you in
Pretty
September.
much, yeah.
And that was before email. So that was like telexes or Twixes or things like that. Bad news. Sometimes I wonder whether those of us that don't do it that way are the ones that are wrong.
Maybe we're missing something, eh?
Yeah.
I've been seeing articles about 4-day work weeks. I wonder what that would be like.
I'd be happy to get down to a 6-day work week.
Hey, when you're self-employed, you can work any hours you want, and usually you work all of them.
There you go.
Yeah, you can work 80 hours a week, any day of the week you want.
Yeah, right.
A couple of years ago, I actually started keeping a journal for I did it for about 3.5 months, I guess. And I figured out I was averaging like 18.2 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
And I thought, well, I'm either doing something wrong or I'm doing something really poorly.
If I don't get at least one day off each week, I start to get funny. I can't do it. I just can't.
I've started to put vacation day trip type things on my schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
It gives me something to look forward to on the schedule.
Reason to keep going, eh?
You know, years and years ago, when my wife and I we've been married 42 years now, but we began to realize that towards the end of each vacation, we were starting to get depressed, and we never really quite knew why. And then we figured out that towards the end of each vacation, if we planned the next one, it didn't happen anymore. We were happy.
There you go.
So you start planning before you finish.
Yeah, at least talking about ideas for it, and kind of have an idea.
Yeah.
We did a lot of traveling when we were younger. I mean, nothing real exotic, but we probably went to Hawaii. Oh, gosh, at least 10 times, probably more. And we went on many, many cruises and spent all our travel money when we were young. I think that actually turned out to be okay.
During my misspent youth, I hitchhiked across Canada a couple of times.
Ooh, that's the kind of thing you got to be single to do, probably. But,
Yeah.
yeah, but still, I mean, you know what? I'm happy if I just get away for a few days, even if we go up the coast and get a room at a hotel like in, I don't know, Santa Barbara or someplace like that for a few days. That's great.
I've
Kind of
been
rejuvenate you. Yeah.
I've been thinking of traveling to Catalina Island.
Oh, do
That's
it.
nice. Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of tourist traps there, but it's a well worthwhile. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can fly out.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting little airstrip to drop into if you have nerves of steel.
Yeah,
But
interesting and drop. Those are the right words.
exactly, plummet. Actually, plummet comes to mind. But the
runway
boat
goes like this over the top of a hill.
the boat trip is a good run, but it's the kind of thing you definitely want to do only if you plan on spending the night, because you lose so much time. I mean, you can go out there and come back, but you get it with about 2.5 hours in town, and it's just not worth the effort. But if you're going to at least spend the night or a weekend, then the boat would be a good way to go.
Now, I understand there are two different landing points. There's one that's a little bit more rugged, where you would like camp out, and the other one you stay in town and you stay at hotels and restaurants and so on.
There's some nice camping facilities there. They're very very sparse. I mean, there's not a lot of amenities. It's basically at the beach. There's one of them that I know that I went to. I know they had actually not porta potties. They were actually built restrooms. Yeah. And then you could walk about a half a mile up the road. There was a little convenience store up there where you could pay $12 for a gallon of milk.
Well, that's at Twin Harbors. That's basically not where everybody goes, though, unless they want to camp. The one real town is Avalon, and the rest of the island, almost the entire island, is a big nature preserve. It was purchased by the Wrigleys back in the 30s, or before the 30s even, and they donated it to, or created a foundation. That was, basically a nonprofit corporation.
They're the Chicago Cubs Wrigleys?
Yep. In fact, that was their summer practice or spring practice location for many, many years.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, William Wrigley and maybe his wife were originally buried there when they died. He was anyway. And during World War II, at the beginning of World War II, they moved his remains back inland because they were worried that the Japanese would attack the island and capture take away his remains as a symbolic, win or something, or macabre. But we went there in May for my birthday, and it was wonderful.
Oh, I love it out there.
It's worth spending the money for the best hotel. That's the Pavilion, and it's going to be like $300 a night. But you know what? You're going to walk out of there going, "Man, that was worth it."
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's definitely. I don't know what their star rating is, but to me, it's 5-star. You know, it is a great service, and they got a fantastic restaurant right there in the hotel.
Oh,
great prime rib.
Pavilion, huh?
No, the Pavilion doesn't have a restaurant. So let's see. That's
the one we stayed at.
It has a breakfast place, a breakfast room, and it's really good. Then they serve wine and cheese in the afternoon. There's a number of nice restaurants right nearby there. There's one that it almost seems like it's associated with it because they're both are kind of affiliated with the Santa Catalina Island Company.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the Pavilion is where we stayed, and it wasn't that. I think we paid like $189, but it was off season.
Did it have a garden courtyard area? Yeah, it's probably a Pavilion. It's really nice. If you go over on the boat, you want to go Catalina Express, and you could take it out of Dana Point, but it's actually better if you go out of Long Beach. There's a number of places you can leave from, but if you go to Long Beach, there's good parking, and it makes it a very short trip, and they have stabilizers on the hull so that they're fast and very non-rocky.
I was thinking Dana Point because it's not too far of a drive from here.
Yeah, Dana's close.
Boat ride then.
Yeah, you're gonna spend another hour and a half, 2 hours on the water, I bet.
It's
I don't mind.
It's another probably 45 minutes or so. But the other thing is, this is going to sound weird. You're going uphill. Basically, you're going against the current instead of like you're going up north and west as opposed to going over, just straight west from Long Beach. I've done it both ways. I mean, you can do whichever you want, but the company you want to use is Catalina Express. Much faster. I mean, very nice, very affordable. Anyway, this has been Bill and Ammon's Travel Hour. Good place to go, though. That's a great choice. Another one, but not right this time of year, would be the Anza Borrego Desert.
Yeah, you don't want to go down there right now.
No. Go in March or April or something.
Yeah.
Go to the desert during the winter time. Okay, that makes sense.
I worked at Anza Borrego there for a couple of years. Yeah.
Ah, what did you do there?
I was working with the state rangers.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got tied up with them when. You remember the big Cuyamaca fire?
Yeah.
I was a volunteer on that, and this guy got hurt. He's an old fella at the time. He was probably in his late 50s, and he tripped and ended up rolling down the hill and really screwed up his ankle. He shattered his ankle.
Ooh.
And I came across him and helped him out. We got to talking, and we exchanged. When he took off to the hospital, he gave me his phone number. He said, "Give him a call." And when I called, I called, I don't know, probably 3-4 weeks later, I called and he answered it. It was the number of his office there at the park.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
And he says, "Hey, would you be interested in coming down here to work?" Wow. Well, I was living at the time out in El Centro, so I said, "Hell yeah."
Couldn't be worse.
It was nice. So I enjoyed it. He was a interesting guy. But I didn't even realize. I mean, I'd lived there for 7 or 8 years in the Imperial Valley. I had no idea that I knew what the Anza Borrego Desert was, but I didn't know that there was a park out there. And park is a charitable description for it. What it is, it's a patch of desert nestled up against the hills.
But it's vast. It has the most remarkable array of different landscapes and wildlife and everything from badlands to when you first come into town, you can turn up to the park headquarters in what's called Palm Canyon, and you can hike up in there and find in the middle of the desert these little like oases with waterfalls and creeks and then
most of those are dried up now, though.
Yeah, okay. I haven't been to that part of the park in a long time.
Yeah, the fires killed so much of the water, and a lot of that now is pretty much desolate. I don't even know if the park is even active. I haven't been up there in probably 15 years.
Well, I don't know about Palm Canyon. We actually were there last spring too, but we didn't go up to Palm Canyon. We did go out to the Badlands, which I hadn't been to in about 15 years, and I had forgotten that you pretty much have to have a 4-wheel drive to get out to Palms Point and actually see them.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that in my 2-wheel drive Honda, but it's kind of fun having a California newbie to do, travel planning for. Hey, Bill, we'll keep you busy.
There's plenty to see in California.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite places the last few years has been up in Lassen National Forest. I have not seen it since they had a big fire up there too, and I guess they sustained a lot of damage. But it used to be absolutely gorgeous up there.
Yep.
And this is the time of year to do it because you're high enough that the heat's not killing you. In fact, it can get pretty chilly in the evening, but it's just gorgeous country up there.
We went there with some folks from church when we lived in San Jose or near San Jose. And we stayed at this remarkable little hotel, lodge, etc., place that had its own restaurant. And if you wanted trout, they went out literally and
caught one.
Caught one. Well, it wasn't quite. I mean, they were farm trout, but they had a little pond in the back of the place, and they literally went out and scooped one up in a net for you and cleaned it and cooked it right there for you.
That'd be much fresher than that. Huh?
Yeah, great place. Anyway, yeah, fun stuff. There's a lot of things not to like about California, but there's a lot of things to like. That's for sure. So.
Well, I like the fact that it's close to Mexico.
You have an inside.
Which, by the way, Bill, I will remind you before you take off to Catalina Island, you still owe me a visit down here. And I owe you some beer and tacos.
It sounds like it would be good. Should do that.
Doc, you should throw a hangout in real life for the SEO community there.
About 2 years ago, I was involved with the government down here in planning a conference. It was going to be a 2-day conference, and the government was picking up the tab. But as governments tend to do, they drug their feet. The process that was going to take them a week to approve, after 3.5 months, I just said, okay, now it's the point where nobody's going to be able to plug this conference into their schedule. I had people all over the country. Hell, I had people in the UK were willing to come over.
Wow.
But it got to the point where it was just dragging their feet. Bureaucracy is, we ain't got a monopoly on it up in the States. And I think what it was is some guy was waiting to get his palm crossed before he would put a rubber stamp on a thing.
Of course,
and I very politely pretended not to have any funds as opposed to telling them to go stick it where the sun don't shine. But anyway, so I ended up canceling that thing. But I have been thinking lately real seriously about doing a virtual conference. And I think that has a lot of possibilities just to make it's a lot more affordable. And, charging $25-30 access and having a lot of the sessions free and whatnot, I think would be a good thing. There's a group in San Diego that was going to collaborate with me on the conference, and it was going to be a joint thing. And we've got a bunch of colleagues in San Diego that would be active and speakers and participate.
I can think of a few, yeah.
Yeah. And at least one of them is a hardcore bacon lover like myself. So
Yeah. Could be.
I know I could get Casey interested. I'll just tell him, instead of beer and tacos, it'll be beer and bacon.
Yeah.
Well, beer and bacon could probably be the foundation for a good taco too. So,
Well, there you go. Or the name of a rock band.
Ah, yes. Hey, Ken.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And a pregnant silence ensues.
All right, here.
Well,
Silence. Okay, how's that screen? Is that better?
That's interesting.
That's all right. Get out of that. Shoot.
This is
I
killing
think
me. I've got to get a green
conference would
screen.
be good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, this is killing me. Everybody's getting green screens. I'm
Oh,
suffering from green screen ender now.
Unfortunately I have to, because I'm doing more and more stuff with media type clients. So like today, that's why the fancy shirt, I had got an interview and I had to do it from, obviously work from home while I pay for the office.
Yeah.
So.
Been there, done that.
I've been thinking about getting one myself. I've been thinking about it since Ammon started this thing with Bill. but I don't. I'm not going to take the plunge until I find me the software for that spinning squirrel.
Well, you can use the OBS, that open broadcast software. It's open source as well. So I get it all for free.
Ah. Excellent. Good to know. I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was kind of pricey when I first looked at it here a year or so ago.
Yeah, that's been my hesitation. But with this, I mean, it's what the gamers use to stream, and I can switch scenes and actually share desktop or whatever I want, just the press of a button.
Nice. What's the name of it, Kenneth?
OBS.
OBS.
Which is Open Broadcast Software, I think, or Studio, Open Broadcast Studio. Downloaded it, hook it in my webcam. I can choose the background source. I can put a video in the background. You probably could put your spinning squirrel back there, I think.
You got to have something that distinguishes yourself. So I would go for dancing bears. That's what I've always liked, dancing bears. So did you build your own green screen, or did you buy it somewhere?
I bought it, and it's like $100 on Amazon, and I got all the lights, the whole kit. So it's very, very affordable.
Hey, is
it a freestanding frame mount, or is it wall hung, or what?
It came with the frame mount, but I've just got the green screen on the wall since it's not going to move.
Yeah, I was thinking about just building a frame because I don't have a wall directly behind me. So,
but even that is, and I'll show you some kind of it. Even the screen is, the drop down is perfect. I mean, it's adjustable. You can make it wide or big. It's pretty easy.
Can you show us?
Let's see. Hang on. Let's see what I got going on here.
Well, you can show us, but it'll be invisible because it's green.
all you're gonna see is green. Unfortunately,
depends on how big it is, I guess. But yeah.
Let's see if I.
This is like the Green Curtain in The Wizard of Oz.
It's kind of hidden behind the curtain. I'm looking away, trying to get it. It's
all right.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm trying to get everything. So this is what it goes to, because I have the green screen. So you really can't.
Yeah.
I have the chroma key on.
Oh, okay.
And then you can add pictures, whatever you want to do to.
That one's pretty good.
That's a good conversation starter right there. Yeah.
I like that one.
The first one I saw was the one laying in front of the stove, and I thought, my God, is that a body? Who is this guy, and what has he done?
That's competitors, whatever you got to do.
There you go.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that. So just all there is to it.
I could certainly do better than my present real life background.
Oh, so could I.
I'll show you one of my favorite ones in a second, real quick. By the home, I usually use just the home office. I really work out of a small room where I have some privacy, because like most marketers, any given time, middle of the night, whatever, you're working. So
You missed that part of the conversation. We were talking earlier about how many hours a day you can work when you're self-employed.
It's funny. I work only because I'm addicted to it. I work all the time, and it's kind of hard to take a break. But when you enjoy what you do, and that's kind of why I'm on this Hangout, because I'm trying to get back to just the fun stuff and stuff I enjoy, instead of always being under the pressure of the client work.
Got to have balance. I'm not sure that this constitutes balance for me.
True.
It's at least some human interaction.
Yeah. Well, you guys are lifelike. I have to admit that. So.
My first wife used to say that. You were almost lifelike.
I am curious, just since we're all here, has anybody seen any effect on their clients from this new Google algorithm update? I have not.
No.
I haven't seen any real negative, but I do see I do a lot of reputation management. So with that, I'm constantly putting what I would call a target, and I'll market the targets in the goal of pushing down the negative search result. So I'll have a multitude of targets, and I noticed that Google is rotating in my target. So let's say I have 5 news articles as targets instead of social profiles or anything like that. But those news articles, Google, it's like they're rotating them in, and then they'll rotate it out. And I believe that they're probably paying a lot more attention to the click-through rate based on impressions on the SERPs. So I think they're tying in the stuff they say they never tie in, the user experience.
Oh, Google would never do that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm still testing it. I don't have a theory to put in writing, but I'm seeing it, I'm testing it, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah. Bill, what about you?
No, I'm not seeing much impact.
When was the update?
It's going on right now.
Yeah, it's still rolling. It's been rolling for about a week now.
But it started around the 30th, I think, or something like that. Not very long.
And it's supposed to go through Wednesday.
Yeah, it takes about 8 days generally for them to do a full cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I haven't seen any
that's
negative results.
refreshing. The index too.
Most of my clients are so small, I sort of didn't expect to see much of a difference. But over the years, there have been 1 or 2 that really clobbered them.
They're referring to it as a core ranking update.
Sounds scary.
A what?
A core ranking update.
CORE.
Core ranking update. Oh.
That sounds serious.
As in, run-of-the-mill stuff that rarely gets changed is now getting changed. They said it's got something to do with stuff in the user evaluation guide. And SEOs who've been writing about it on Twitter say it's affecting your money or your life type sites, mostly.
Well, surely there couldn't be any conjecture there.
I manage about 8 sites that are in that category. And, if anyone should get hit, it's them. I've warned them several times that they're never going to rank those terms. They're for a cancer. It's information and absolutely no expertise illustrated or indicated on these articles whatsoever. And they wonder why they can't get them to rank.
I had forgotten about those that you do. We get my clients are amongst those that are getting emails from your clients or their marketers asking us to create links on my client sites to your client sites all the time, I think.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're talking about things like asbestos-related cancers and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
but it's not my. We don't do that stuff. I can tell you that.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
Oh, there's lots of guys doing this stuff.
Okay.
That's a major thing. We don't do that kind of.
Okay.
Well, okay. They have several people working for them. I can only account for the people that I know. I know we don't do that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm thinking of something else. Yeah.
We do the commercials that you don't like, though.
The ones that I don't like in that, even in that space, or
I think any of them, or any kind of related ad on that you don't like, Tim. I think.
Oh, okay. Now I'm really puzzled. You're going to have to tell me privately what you're referring to. But then again, there's a lot of commercials I don't like. So
I love the commercials. So what we do is we'll run a compelling ad that says, "You saw our commercials," regardless of whether we had any out there. And they assume.
I've seen on TV or not.
You've seen all our commercials regarding, topic A. And
well, I don't think this is what you're referring to, Terry, but one of my least favorites are the ones for A Place for Mom.
I don't imagine it's one of Mom's favorites either.
We're getting those up here now, Tim, and there's some famous people that are basically the spokesperson for them. Yeah. Oh, really bad places, eh?
Well, let's put it this way.
Not your favorite? Not where you would put your mother, eh?
Not that so much. Okay, so specifically, A Place for Mom is a referral business. They get paid like a realtor does if you sign up with them to help you find a place for your mom or your dad, and then they steer you towards someplace, and they get paid a commission of like the first month's rent or half of it or something if if they've steered you towards them.
Right. I know why like that now.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that model as far as I'm concerned, but the way that they do it is really it's bad. I mean, well, they've got celebrity spokespeople, which is nice, but basically they'll blanket an entire area and well, actually, you know what? I'm going to talk differently about it because I don't want to get in trouble. One thing they do is they have a whole bunch of other websites under other names, and they list companies that they have no involvement with, like my old home care company. And they'll put up our name, and it's still there, saying, "Yeah, here's a servant's heart, in-home care. For more information, call this number." Well, it's an 800 number that goes to a call center. Okay, yeah, that's dishonest. But
just a tad, yeah.
Yeah, but it happens all the time.
That happens in our business. One of my clients, they get that stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, it wouldn't bother me so much because I sold that business, so I don't care. But that happens to my clients that I'm working with. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
And they've got this former news anchor, Joan London, looking all wholesome and
that may be who does the one up here too.
Yeah, and she goes, "Oh,
not even a Canadian." Oh my God. Yeah. That's reason enough to boycott it. You come up here, help these Americans down us. I mean,
Yeah, really get those Americans
just for that reason alone.
Yeah, you guys got to learn to keep the riffraff out, Terry.
Oh, for sure. Or you get guys like Trump dropping by and crapping on our
political. I love it. Let's see.
Well, if he ever goes up to see your prime minister, don't bet on him being allowed back in down here. You'll watch the fastest wall in history go up with no gate.
Well, it all depends on which side of the political spectrum you're on, probably. Or actually, in a lot of cases, which person you didn't want to get elected. Not so much.
Well, I think that was more often the case. Yeah.
There was so I don't know how political we want to get, but I think that was probably the most significant factor in the election.
Probably, yeah. Everybody was voting against somebody rather than for somebody, which is something that I've had to do many times over the years.
Oh, haven't we all?
Lesser of a bunch of evils. That's the way I always look at it. I don't vote for that reason.
Den of vipers.
Which worth voting for. I look at the ballot and say, yeah, no one there that I see can lead the country, so I'm not going to vote. And the rest of the people are just lining their pockets. You wouldn't believe these guys who come here and go to Parliament in this country get a pension like for the rest of their lives after only 8 years.
Same thing here.
It's ridiculous. You know.
Same thing here.
Shouldn't have went down this road. We should change the topic.
Yep. I tell you what,
me and him going on government, I'm pretty sure.
Do you guys do any political marketing? Do you have to do any?
No. Steve Plunkett, I think, is the only guy that we have contact with from time to time that has worked on political campaigns, right?
Oh, what's his name in the dojo too? Randy. I'm pretty sure.
Randy Lehman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I've built a couple of websites for aspiring politicians.
I do some Facebook stuff. Man, it is super tough now. It's depending on which side of the spectrum you're marketing for. It gets kind of tough, and that's why I was wondering. I mean, first of all, any political ads, they need to know. I had to send in a copy of my driver's license, the last 4 of my social, all this. I mean, it's the verification alone is a pain. And then not only does the marketer have to verify with Facebook, but each individual business page has to be verified as well.
Yeah, it's a pain in the neck.
Facebook has been getting kicked in the shins for a long time now over all this stuff. I am not surprised if they're trying to at least create the appearance of being very careful now. So I would be if I were in their shoes.
Yeah,
I think some of the recent stuff that I see Facebook doing, in terms of those types of changes, are, I think, wise, and they're well advised, and probably should have been done from the get-go. But they've done a couple things here lately too that just seem totally off the wall. Like, for instance, this clown. Well, what the heck is his name? That ultra-conservative guy that they just temporarily banned him, but left his page up. And then a couple days of flack, and then they decided to take his page down too, like they're responding to the online public opinion. And I don't, why did they have to wait to 2018 to take that numbskull off? Should have been done shortly after they launched the platform. Yeah. But
yeah, you start letting your users know they can pull that stuff, and next thing you know, you have the users deciding your content.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's exactly right.
All these big companies, they think they know we better than us. Google gives us what they think we want, or not everything. They just give us what they think.
Really?
Yeah. Everything's one-sided now. No wonder people have such strong opinions. That's all they get is one point.
I lived up there. I lived up there, and I worked in the middle of all that stuff. Everything you just said, the reality is probably 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point. I saw a blog post by somebody who had spent a few years and just recently left Silicon Valley area, and they said in this rather lengthy post that was on Medium that even to the extent that when they went into this, I think it was a drugstore, they were looking for a particular product that they couldn't find. They asked for it. No, we don't carry that brand. So they went to 3 different places looking for that particular brand product, and nobody carried it. Finally, one of them admitted, well, we used to carry it, but such and such over here, and I don't remember who it was, one of the big Silicon Valley firms, they actually had a 3-person committee came by and asked them to discontinue that product because they were doing things that this particular company was outspoken against. So they basically asked them to boycott that product. And so, when a local employer could decide what products are carried in some business owner's store, things are out of hand.
Yeah, you got back the old days where there's a coal mine in town, and the coal miner, that company owned everything.
The company store.
The company store, yeah.
Company store, yeah.
Of course, I'm not sure that there's a lot of difference now between the old company store and the California legislature. Both are bought and paid for, so what can I tell you? But we do have the best we do have the best legislators that money can buy. So.
There you go.
On both sides of the aisle, probably.
Stressing the money can buy.
I swear we'd be better off if we just did a coin toss every 4 years.
A lottery.
Or lottery, like the draft. Actually, my perfect system is
some poor bastard has to take the job for 4 years.
Well, not only that, but when they're done, they have to leave government, go back to what they were doing before, and live with the consequences of their actions.
Well, even better than that, let's make them live with the consequences while they're up there, too.
If possible, sure, why not?
Of course, the only problem is you got to get them to vote for that, so good luck on that one. Kind of like term limits, that's not likely to happen in our lifetime.
It did in California for a while, didn't it? I'm trying to think. Don't we have some kind of term limits here?
Well, for the legislature, I'm not sure. For the governor, there is.
For the state legislature, I think we do.
There may be.
For the state legislature, you don't have them for federal.
Yeah.
No, for federal, no.
Propose that on the federal, but yeah. So I think we do for the state legislature, and I'm not sure about the governor. That could be different, but yeah, this is why people move around in the state government all the time. They term out where they are, and so they just get their buddies to name that or nominate them for another, role. Anyway, we always turn to politics. Never fails.
Well, it kind of occupies a lot of our minds.
Yeah, it does. A lot of our time, a lot of our efforts. Well, so back to
our money.
So back to Facebook and politics for a minute, though, Ken. I'm interested in what you're talking about. So it makes you do a lot of extra work to kind of authenticate yourself or your clients. Is that the main difference?
Oh, and the ads get disapproved a lot. So we'll push an ad, and it'll a lot of times it'll get disapproved just because of this doesn't meet, their rules.
We don't like it. Yeah. We don't tell you why, but we don't like it.
Right. So there's tricks to the trade for everything, and an easy trick is to just put what you want into a graphic.
No, really?
Not that you haven't seen that before.
No.
Yeah, so I have tried my hand at Facebook advertising on and off over the years, and my conclusion was that I don't have the patience for it personally, and I probably not smart enough to figure out all the tricks of the trade, as you said.
Not hard to figure out when all the sessions are 0.000 in duration. Kind of tells you what a click from Facebook is worth.
Yeah.
You gotta
shut them off in a hurry when I saw that. There's too many of those kind of clicks. I believe probably 80% of clicks from Facebook are fake.
I agree. I agree. But the clients that I mainly focus on Facebook are clients that would have a harder time with traditional SEO, like news, for example, news organizations that their topics are updated so frequently that while you can get enough authority to rank for certain posts, the timeliness of the social media is why we focus on it.
Think about this, that it seems, or I've read, that Facebook, one of the ways that they determine bots is that they don't click ads. These bots that do the liking and stuff click ads, which is why they don't get knocked out. It basically makes them, Teflon coating for these bots. It's incredible. Like, when Google can only send you like maybe 100 clicks a day, and Facebook can do the same number, I don't think so. Something's out of whack. Especially for this product, it's business to business. Like, I had him on for just a little while, and I said, "Oh, this is nonsense."
Yeah, business to business, I can't see spending 2 cents on Facebook. Yeah. B2C, yeah, but B2B, that just doesn't.
If you could target,
how much audience have you got there?
The targeting there for businesses is so crappy that.
Yeah, it is hard. It is.
I agree.
Well, yeah, you're not going to. Facebook's has some good demographics on users, but
not the kind that you can use to attach advertising to it, Doc.
Not for a B2B, no.
No.
No way.
Especially
give you all kinds of stuff on consumers.
Yeah, if you're going business to business, you gotta take in consideration that the business probably has another business doing their marketing, and the last thing they're gonna do is let another marketer get through the gate to talk to them.
Pretty likely.
Yeah, I don't mind the boosting of posts though, because that's the only way that you can actually get them shown to a decent amount of people. Anybody who thinks, 1,500 followers and your posts, 33 people see them, if you're lucky. It's a paid platform. I don't care what anyone says, and it was going to be like that from the beginning. Think about it. They actually rewarded people for building up their followers, basically building up their site. And then they say, okay, all these followers are following you and said they wanted to see your stuff. Well, they're not going to see it now unless you pay us. That's basically what it comes down to. It's been like a Ponzi scheme from day one.
Well, yeah, but even if you boost of those 1,500 followers, how many are going to see it then?
Oh yeah, I mean, you might get 100 then.
Yeah, big deal, right?
Yeah.
So, what platforms do you guys? I mean, other than the traditional SEO, which is 90% of my business, what other platforms do you guys use for business to business?
Virtually all of my clients are business to consumer, B2C. So virtually none, except my own, marketing to people, I suppose, but not to, prospective clients. But yeah, mine are all in the home healthcare arena or something related to it.
Yeah, I've been trying AdWords, but then again, got to spend a lot of money to even just learn enough about it, trim it down and get it working properly, right? It's an expensive deal, especially right now. Some of the categories I'm working in are $20, $30 per click.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way mine are too, for my clients in a lot of cases. I've got one client in the durable medical equipment industry, which is kind of related, and they spend several $1,000s a month on AdWords, but they've got a completely separate agency for that. With my blessing, if you know,
Thank you very much.
well, so I've had clients who have said, oh, they wanted to try AdWords, and if I can't, I'm not sure I should always talk them out of it, but if they are serious about it, then I'll usually refer them to somebody that knows what they're doing in that arena, which isn't me.
Tim, I do. I refer them to someone. However, under the guise that I get to oversee it, and I'll report to the client what I think the other company is
doing. White label it, yeah. And I could do it that way. It's almost never really turned out to happen. But I didn't bring in for this one client I was talking about that does durable medical equipment. They already had that relationship before they came to me. So they basically fired their SEO guy and came to me.
What I found is from AdWords, if you know how to write ads, you can start to vet and refine your calls to action based on stuff you see working on advertisements. What I like about it is you send a message, you get a response from the user, and see what he does on the page, or the user does on the page. It's good information to have for an SEO.
And that makes I accept that. That's a great idea or a great strategy. And you're able to draw conclusions from that, even though you get a lot of click fraud, or meaningless clicks.
By seeing the click-through rates on the ads, right? I see what makes people click an organic result as well, because it's pretty much the same thing. If they're clicking on that, and you write your title and your description using some of those calls to action, right? It works well.
You can test. You can even if you're doing say billboard marketing, you can test your call to actions and your descriptions with just a couple $100, a few $100 on AdWords to know which one has the click-through rate before you print out a big billboard. Yeah. We do that all the time.
That's what's expensive about AdWords is if you figure out the calls to action that work and convert, you can make that work like crazy. I did some with a payday loan company where we had 33% conversion rate off the click, right? And then turn into a loan 15%. And that was all by the targeting that I figured out after about 6 months.
Well,
that's pretty damn good conversion.
Great, yeah.
Oh, these guys, they keep phoning me or contacting me to go back to work for them. I don't want to do that.
For a piece of the action, maybe.
Yeah. Not the. Yeah. You mean you have some standards, huh?
Yeah, they're low though.
Well, there you go. A little humble honesty there.
Oh, there's not too. I've worked on porn sites, all kinds of. When I first started, you took the work you could get, and you didn't. You didn't. If you turned it down, someone else was going to get it, and you might wait 6 months to work again.
Okay, I accept.
That was in the early '90s. Especially here in Canada. There's still a lot of businesses that aren't on the internet here. Yeah. You would be amazed. Even though we have good connections, they should be, but the businesses just aren't that. They don't take the risks that Americans do, probably because of the culture. We're more of a risk-adverse culture. You guys put it out there. You know what I mean? You're gamblers. We're not that good at gambling stuff.
Some of us. On the other hand, there's guys like me, if I, and this is just personal, if I worked on a porn site and then I had to go face my mom if we go over for supper that night, I'm sorry. It's just.
Well,
but then again,
I'm not exactly cutting edge either. I mean, I actually have me a cell phone now that I've had for about 3 weeks. Okay, I've been able to get by for the last 6 decades without one. So.
Leaping into the 90s.
I still haven't got one. Don't need it.
I don't.
I barely use
the number out.
landline.
My dad has an iPhone 4 that he purchased and actually got replaced once under warranty years ago, and does okay with it. My mom still has a flip phone, and I think I finally have them thinking maybe about giving up their landline. I don't know. They've got their landline service is actually coming now from their cable company. It's not great. I tell you what, though, I don't know. We're way off in other tangents now. I did finally buy them, or they bought with my help, a couple of those cellular-based push-button, personal emergency systems.
Oh yeah.
Those work, and they work well. They're all based on cell technology. They're good anywhere they go. And we actually used it once to call 911 for my dad one time, or mom did, when he was just in distress at 2 a.m. and called the paramedics. And fortunately, it turned out he was okay. But that's a good example of cell technology being really a great thing. So,
guys, I'm sorry, but I have to run. Great seeing everybody.
Good to see you, Doc.
4 o'clock anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about closing time.
Pleasure.
Yep.
It looks like it's time for us to call it a day. And I
Take care.
Bye now.
Hey, Tim, don't rush away.
I'm not.